This is the second video for the Algebra EOC 1A. So starting at number 6, we're graphing this equation right here. 4x minus 2y is equal to 6. I have darkened my x and y axis here to make things a little bit easier to see. I'll pull that off to the side a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and write this again over here is equal to 6. And just kind of note what I'm doing. I want to put this into slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b right here. Okay, now there's two important numbers there. The m, which is our rise over run or slope, and then the b is where is it touching or intersecting the y-axis. So essentially I have to solve it for y, get y by itself, and then the right side should just take care of itself. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have 4x minus 2y, so I don't want the x term over here, so I'm going to subtract it. Because I know 4x minus 4x, it's going to go away, and it's going to go over here. All right, so I still have a minus there, so that becomes negative 2y. And on the other side, I could write 6 minus 4x, but I know that I want the x term first, so I'm going to go ahead and write that as negative 4x plus 6. All right, now y is almost by itself. I just need to undo that. So that's negative 2 times y, so I'm going to divide it by the negative 2. So I will get y is equal to, negative divided by negative is a positive, so this is going to be a 2x, and positive 6 divided by negative 2 is minus 3. So the two things I need to remember there, I've got my slope, which is 2, or you can think of it as 2 over 1. Remember, that's the rise over the run, and my y-intercept is negative 3. So I'm going to start right here with the y-intercept. Move that up a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, so here's my y-intercept, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 over 1. So rise of 2, run of 1. You could do it a couple times if you want. And then grab some kind of straight edge or ruler. I'm going to go ahead and use a mini ruler right here. And there you go. All right, the next one is saying what ordered pair is the solution to the system of equations. So a system is more than one equation, so we have two in this case, and it is kind of set up to solve it a certain way pretty quickly, because you might notice that these two are opposites of each other, 2y and negative 2y. They're going to cancel out. Now it just so happens the numbers on the side, the 4 and the negative 4 are also going to cancel out, but I'm really focusing on the y's, because you're going to notice here 3x plus 3x does give me 6x. The y's cancel. This happens to be 0, but that lets me figure out what x is pretty quickly. X is just going to be 0. All right, now I need an ordered pair, so I need both an x and a y. So I'm going to go ahead and take my x and plug it into this first equation. So the first equation was 3x plus 2y is equal to 4. But here I'm going to plug that in. It's 3 times 0 plus 2y is equal to 4. Well, 3 times 0 is 0, so that's just 2y is equal to 4. And then divide both sides by 2 to get y by itself. And y is equal to 2. So remember, an ordered pair usually looks like this. So that is my answer, and I'll put that in a box too. So 0, 2. These next two really go together. So I'll put a little note on the side here. So when you're wanting to find an x or y intercept, what you're going to do, I'll put a little asterisk right there, set the other variable equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to set the other variable. So if I want to get the x-intercept, that means I want to set y is equal to 0. On the next one, I'm finding the y-intercept, so I want to set x equal to 0. That's really all I have to do. So up here, y is equal to 0, so 3x plus 4 times 0 is equal to 12. 4 times 0 is 0, so it's 3x equals 12. Divide both sides by 3, and we're already at our answer. X is equal to 4. On the next one, notice I did go with the exact same equation. So we're setting the x equal to 0, so 3 times 0 plus 4y is equal to 12, which is going to give me 4y is equal to 12, or y is equal to 3. All right, that leaves us with the very last problem, which is probably the most time-consuming one here. But it's actually not too bad. I'm taking a look at it ahead of time here. So what is the equation of a line that contains the point 4, 1 and has a slope of 3? All right, so they give us 2 bits of information. They give us a point. So I highlight that, and they give us a slope of 3. So since they're giving us those particular things, probably we should think about putting it into what's called point slope form. Notice I have a point, that's the word there, and slope. That's why it's called that. So that equation or formula is y minus y sub 1 is equal to slope, which is m, times x minus x sub 1. Okay, so what's all this sub x thing, going on? So the point was 4, 1. So remember, it's always x comma y. So that means my x comma 1, not comma 1, x sub 1 is 4. My y sub 1 is 1. And they already told me my slope is 3. So I need these things right here. These are the 3 things that are going to go into this formula. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and plug them in. Here's the formula right here. So I'm just going to kind of go along. Y minus y sub 1, well, I wrote right there, that's a 1. It's equal to slope was a 3. And then we have x minus x sub 1 was a 4. Now, here's where you really should look at your answers. If you're taking a multiple choice test, your answer might look just like that. But it might also be in slope-intercept form. So if it looks like this, go ahead and select your answer and you're done. But if y is by itself, you do have to do a couple things. I would distribute this right here to get y minus 1 is equal to 3x minus 12, and then add 1 to both sides, and we would have y is equal to 3x minus 11. So it depends on what form they want the question in. This would be slope-intercept form, and this would be point-slope form. They are equal to each other, but your answers will be one or the other.